The correct size of a nickel is 21.21 millimeters, and based on that, the data can be summarized into the table indicating the number of children from each income group who drew the nickel too small and too large. And we have our table there. It's asking us, based on this data, to first find the proportion of children from the low income group, so out of low income group children, that drew the nickel too large. So out of those that are in the low income group, that's these people right here, what proportion found it that it was too large? Well, we see that it was the 11 out of those 20. So we can write it just like that. If we wanted to turn this into a decimal, we can do that as well. We can just divide the 11 divided by 20, and we get 0.55. The next question is the proportion of children from the high income group that drew the nickel too large. Well, now this time we are looking at the high income group, and out of those 15, we see 4 of them drew it too large. So this would be 4 out of 15. If we round that to 4 decimal places, we would get 0.2667. Finally, we look at the proportion of all children. So now we're not looking at just one specific thing. We're looking at all of them, or the totals. What were the proportion that drew it too large? So out of all of these 35 children, we see 15 of them drew it too large. And this gives us about 0.4286. Finally, we're going to look at some probability problems where it says if a child is picked at random, what is the probability that they are in the low income group given they drew the nickel too large? So here it's a conditional probability. We are trying to find what's the probability that they are from the low income, but they're giving us information, so it's only out of the fact that they drew the nickel too large. So as we found earlier, we know that when something is given to us, it's out of those people. So here we're looking at just the too large, so out of those people, that goes in the denominator. And so that's out of 15. And we are looking for the probability that out of those people that they drew it, they came from the low income. And low income would be those 11. And if we put this as a decimal, we get about 0.7333. Finally, we're asked if a child is picked at random, what is the probability they are in the high income group or they drew the nickel too large? So here we have an or. There's a couple ways we can do this, but if we just apply the addition rule, that might be one of the fastest ways. So or, we're going to take the first thing. They're in the high income group. So we can find that there are 15 people in the high income group. 15. Plus those that drew the nickel too large. Well, that was also 15. However, the group that are in both groups, so that would be these 4, they're double counted, so we have to subtract them out. So we add the 2 groups and subtract out the overlap. And since this is out of everyone, this is out of 35. And if we work this out, we will get 26 out of 35, which is approximately 0.7429.